vengeance, but never forget that I, Megatron, will always be leader of the Decepticons!
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at something I really wasn't sure that I would ever take a look at, and that's going to be a Decepticon. Yes, this is going to be the Walmart exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Netflix Megatron. And the well of Autobot seems to be drying up for the time being. I think we're going to get some more releases here in a few months, but until then, the War for Cybertron Decepticons weren't really bad looking. I think the Earthrise Decepticons are really good. I have bought a couple, so Megatron here will not be the last Decepticon that we see. But when it comes to this particular Megatron, this is the Siege Megatron that's been repainted a more silvery, darker color, which I really like, and that's one of the reasons I went to review this one, and I want to add this one to my collections instead of the original Siege and the anniversary Megatron that I picked up with Prime last year. So I think this one's going to be the better version. But anyway, getting into this, you can see that he comes in a very large box. This is bigger than normal Voyager size boxes, which is what he is. But that is for the added items that he has. You can see he has a Battle Master and he has a Weapons Master here in the box with him, and we'll get into that later. But for the most part, the box is white. Has Takara Tomy, the Transformer Generation symbol, Netflix, a Netflix original series, obviously starting on July 30th, if you're interested. Transformers logo here, Hasbro 8+, Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, Decepticon, Megatron. And you can see Megatron in there looking all beat up because he has some nice scarring on his chest, but we'll look at that later. On this side, you can see a nice picture of Megatron, huge Decepticon symbol there, Netflix, a Netflix original series. On the top of the box, you can see a little bit of an Autobot symbol. Don't know why that's there, but Transformers, more than meets the eyes there. This side of the box, you have a kind of a rendition of the original Transformers Siege box art. Its colors are a little different, as you can see, so that's pretty cool right there. And on the back of the box, you can see it has a lot of product shots. You have Megatron as a robot, Megatron as a tank, the little Weapons Master here, Pinpointer and Lionizer, and some credits for the box, which are, who cares? I guess they're on there for licenses, Hasbro. And on the bottom of the box, you just have some red and some more licensing stuff and a barcode and a Thinnic symbol. So yes, this is a Thinnic product. But anyway, that's it for the box. No one wants to see this guy in the box. I know I don't. So let's get him out and see what Megatron can do. And here we have Megatron out of the box. And inside of his box, he comes with a nice set of instructions that will help you flip him from a tank into a robot, and from a robot into a tank. And trust me, you are going to need these instructions because those legs are really strange. He also has two captive Battle Masters, as it were, and they wanted to make sure that you knew that they were captive and that they're not working for Megatron on their own. And first off, you have this little sword guy, is Autobot captive Lionizer, and basically Lionizer here is just a repaint of Dazzle Strike, which is the Amazon exclusive green light that we reviewed last year, and so we'll get into him in just a minute. And the other captive is Pinpointer, which I'm sure is a repaint of some other Weapon Master or Battle Master, Weapon Master, I don't know. I don't usually get these guys, so I have no idea what they are and who they are and stuff like that. I will show you how to transform, though. I can do that. Yeah, okay. So he also comes with blast effects for them. So they have these little plastic things, and what you'll do is you'll just put them tab them onto the ends of their barrel right here. Well, his barrel for pinpointer, so you can get these little. So, but we'll look at that a little bit when we get into accessories. And he has a effect for Lionizer, not Dazzle Strike, and it's the same thing. It will just peg in here on the blade. We can see that real quick, and we'll take again a look at it when we get to the accessories. So that's pretty neat there. And finally, he comes with himself. As you can see, Megatron in this rendition is a tank, and I always thought Megatron would make a good tank, anything as opposed to a little gun, which never really made any sense to me, that, you know, you have to transform into a gun and then have somebody hold you to use you as a weapon when your weapon is just basically right there on your forearm, your main weapon anyway. But anyway, and there was a couple times when Megatron would just float by himself as a weapon and just shoot. But anyway, yeah, so here he is. He is a tank, and I thought that was a good idea. Like I said, he has been a tank before, back in G2. We'll do, when we look at comparisons, we'll see I have the original G2 Megatron tank, and that will be pretty neat to look at. But mostly you can see he is gray. This is again the Netflix version. He's a darker gray and silver as opposed to the original that was put out. You can see silver here, and it fades into some black, which is really nice. I like that. Some more red detail here on the side. That's pretty neat. Some black up here. Some light plastic, gray plastic here, which is attached to his gun, his cannon here in the front. Speaking of the front, we can go around here. We can see that it has some nice yellow headlights going up and some nice silver on the paint. Again, more of that black fade right here on the front of the tank. On the side, the same thing as you had the other, and you got some little wheels here, and on the back you just have some feet sticking out, which is not too bad. And from the top view, got some reds here and here and some blacks. That's pretty nice. And you really don't want to turn it on the other side. Looking at the bottom, you'll be very disillusioned. But since this is a full and accurate review, we will do it, but just be warned. So if you turn him around, oh, you see Megatron just hanging out there. Ah, yeah, Megatron! Don't look! Turn me around! Oh God, I am so embarrassed. Okay, we'll put that down. But yeah, so that is it basically in his tank mode. And if I had a table that actually rolled and had some friction on it, these wheels I think would catch and he could roll around. So that is pretty neat there. The turret does actually move around, so he could be, you know, shooting from different directions if you were so inclined, which is what a good tank should do. And the blast effect that came with a pinpointer, this little pink thing, it can go right here into his cannon, and we can kind of have a neat little shot like that. So that's pretty cool. Take this out, and the cannon itself, it cannot technically rise. However, if you do a little bit of mistransforming to it, rearrange this, put this back in, and actually take this out and move this around. I don't know, to the front like this, and then you could have this little number going on, which is a crazy weird mega cannon, if you like that. So it's like, and then as soon as this is not attached to the bottom, you can actually rotate the turret of the I mean, not the turret, but the cannon, so it can go up and down just a hair. So that's not too bad. But then you have this little thing in the way. But if you don't want that, you can actually take that off, and then you can have like a mini cannon. But Megatron's not mini, and I think you take more offense to that. I'm not mini. I have no mini parts. I am mighty. Okay, yeah, you're mighty, so we'll stick that back in there and boosh, and zzz. Maybe we could take this, I don't know, do something with it, push it back. These do kind of rotate, so, I mean, if you want, you can kind of put them back like that. And then, okay, yeah, there you go. That looks all right. So you can have, but he'll have this little wing thing going, but that's okay. That looks pretty neat. Little options that you could do. And when it comes to his weapon masters, we can take Lionizer here and kind of transform out the head to give us that little tab, and this can be inserted into the little slots around Megatron on the sides, but I don't know why they would work for him or do that independently, so he may have them brainwashed or something like that, but it is something you can do. Likewise, you can take a pinpointer, and he has like these little tabs here, and they can go into the ports on the side as well. So if you want to have him armed up with both of these little captive minions and they work for him, I don't know, again, that would be cool. That's an option that you could do there, and they can go on there. So anyway, that is pretty much it for the tank and everything that it can do. So let's move on to some comparisons. And first up for comparison is the G2 Megatron tank. And this guy is substantially larger than the Siege Megatron, or Netflix War for Cybertron Megatron. But you can see the differences here. And for a G2, this was a lot bigger, probably a lot less money than I paid for the Netflix version. But anyway, there you are for comparison with that. And the next comparison before we get into Earthrise and Siege, the last Megatron I bought for the Classics line, he was actually still a gun. So this is the last Megatron that I got for the Chug line, which is Classics, Anisha, Universe, and what is Generations. Yes, that is what Chug stands for. So, and there's not really good comparison here. This looks like a giant Nerf gun, or I don't know. I painted the tips black because they were orange, so I didn't like that color. So yeah, and the trigger part. But yeah, we'll get to look at that guy in robot mode in just a minute. But anyway, that's it for old types of Decepticons that I have. I didn't want to bring out the G1s because I thought that was kind of a silly comparison. But getting into something more recent, here he is with the Siege Optimus. And you can see the sizes there. So he is a bit longer than Optimus, just by a foot. Get it, the feet are a little longer, so that is pretty cool. A little different vehicle. Here he is with the Ironhide, so it might be just a little longer, fairer comparison, but not by much. No, he's still bigger, Megatron is. So alright, take that. And more recent than that, we have the Earthrise Prime, which is pretty much the same. So, not much bigger scale there. I do like that Megatron is bigger than Prime. I think that's, you know, good. The bad guy needs to be imposing, I think, to cause a challenge. But, here we go. I bet this guy's bigger. Here he is with Grapple. So, let's see. Grapple may have him beat. Oh, they may be about the same lengthwise. So, but Megatron is wider, so he can like stomp on Grapple. Autobot scum! Oh no! Alright, let's get him out of there. So yeah, and that is it for comparisons. And And full transformation. Alright, this is going to be kind of complicated, but we can get through it. Alright, what we want to do first is take him and take off his cannon. And that's easily done by just pulling it out through here. And that comes out. We got that big, huge piece. Yay! We saw that earlier. Alright, now, there's a couple places that you could start with this guy. I think the most problematic place that people will give people problems are the legs. So if you turn them around, you can see there's Megatron still stuck in there. I see you. But what we want to do first is try to take these legs and extend them, because they're folded up on like double hinges kind of thing. All right, so what we'll do is we'll pull them in from the bottom, pull them to the inside until you kind of hear a snap. We'll do this one first. All right, and that because it's tabbed right in there. And so once that's done, that will give us the clearance to pull this panel up. So we'll pull this panel up. You can see there it goes right there. Now, here's the problems where this is kind of unhinged and this is on a hinge, so they both have to move. So what normally you could do is just twist it one way. If you bring it forward, you're gonna have to have some clearance to fight with, but it does get that one hinge undone. And then once you do that, you can bring it out to the side and then twist it around until it resembles something of a leg. And it's okay if the foot's facing backwards like that. That's what you kind of want it to do, and then you can close this back up. So that is one done. All right, and same thing over here. You want to pull it out, so untab it from the bottom or the top here. Push it in. Okay, there it is. That top, and that did sound kind of. I don't like those really loud pops. That kind of drives me, gets my nerves up. All right. Now this panel will come up like that, and now we will try to unhinge this. So what we could do is go down, holding it firmly from here. That will bring this part up. See, that looked nice. And then bring out to the side, twist around. See, now that was perfect. I don't know why I didn't do that the last time. But anyway, that's how you do that. Push your panel back in, and there, the feet and the legs have been extended. So what you want to do now is twist your waist around, and there you have feet facing the right way. And now the feet can come out, and then you can do the ankle or the heels, which is fine. Be careful, because there's a little plastic and they might pop off on you if you're too forceful with them. So there, yeah, he has legs. I have legs. Warriors need legs. They don't need heads, but they need legs. That is a quote. Not really a quote. It's a kind of a making of fun of a quote. All right, so let's move to the back here, and what we'll do is we'll pull these apart and leave that like that and go back to the front. And then what we're going to do is take this little silver piece and untab it from the tank treads. If you can see that. Let's see, I might need to zoom out just a hair. That's in, zoom out. Okay. So, what we'll do is we'll just pull this off to the side, and it will come out, and then push up like that. Back. Now go back here, pull these, separate these like that, and now we can pull this whole section up so as to give us some more room. There we go. And then the arms have some place to go to the sides here, and these treads will come in. These treads will fold in on themselves like such, and then we can bring this silver piece again. It will tab in, holding both of those together, and we will like accordion it back and make it flush like that. Now with the arms, they can just tab into place, and we will bring the elbows up to be able to pull the fists out like so, and then same on this side, elbow up, fist out, boom, and we will rotate the fusion cannon, and there we have Mighty Megatron in his robot mode. Dun dun dun. And he looks great. This is a definite keeper of a Megatron. So, pulling real close in on that head sculpt, we can see that Megatron is his standard silvery bucket-headed self. He has some nice black eyebrows, which I added. Nice red, creepy eyes with some black highlights around the side. And just a plain old silver face coming down to his chest. He's got some nice red highlights around his shoulders. Chest is got some scarring marks on it for effect. Nice weathered Decepticon symbol coming down to mid-chest. He has blue circles, red rectangle, which I colored myself, some yellow, some weathered shorts it looks like, and coming down to some gray legs, a little bit of highlights on the sides, a little bit of wash to black. Those are really, really nice. Some silver feet. That's pretty much his color scheme, silver and black, so you know, you're going to get all of that. He's got some black hands, some silver forearms, a little bit of red there at the bicep, more silver on the shoulders, black fusion cannon, and that's pretty much it for his colors on the front. On the back, there's not really too much of a difference. Most of it's going to be taken up by his tread backpack. So we got a lot of gray and silver there, coming down to some black legs. So anyway, yeah, that's what he looks like. Alrighty then, let's move on to something else. And for articulation, basically starting at the head, his head can go left, it can go right, it can go up a little bit, it can kind of go down into his chest a little bit. That's because there's a hinge there. It cannot go all the way around, so that's kind of annoying, and it kind of keeps the head visible when he's in tank mode, so that's kind of disappointing. So his has a shoulder rotation, goes all the way around, and if you want to break the sculpt a little bit, you can get a butterfly effect, bring that out like so. So that's pretty neat. He does have a bicep swivel, but it's right under this red part of the bicep, so that's kind of interesting. But it goes all the way around, and he has an elbow bend, so there you go with that, elbow bend. And he doesn't have a wrist swivel because the only thing his wrist can do is move in, and that's based on the transformation, so that's kind of limited there. But well, what are you gonna do? He has a waist swivel right here. It can go around, just mind the backpack, and he can get all the way 360 degrees. And he has a leg articulation. Legs can go all the way up, which is nice, and it can go all the way back if you mind the backpack, kind of put it out to the side a little bit, so that's good articulation. You can go to the side. He has a thigh swivel all the way around, and he has a knee bend up for some good motion right there. Coming down to his foot, it does rock to the inside, so like that, and it can come down a little bit and up a little bit, and the heel can go up and down a little bit based on the transformation hinge. So that's pretty much it for his articulation. On this side, his fusion cannon, it can come off, so it's basically an accessory, but a lot of people leave it on because it doesn't hinder the transformation, and there's really no reason to take it off. So actually, if you wanted to, And again, this is your preference. It can go here, or it can even go here, but I don't know why you'd want to stick it way up there, but it is an option. Actually, you could probably even put it on these, in the back of these little things here, if you were so inclined. Yeah, so, yeah. That's kind of strange, but hey, anyway. But for the most part, when it comes to articulation, it can sit on the side like there, or you can rotate it to where it looks like his classic on top of his hand look. But when you do that, you lose your elbow bend, but you get kind of a into the chest bend, so he can bring his cannon in like that. And like if he has a wrist communicator, he could talk to Starscream. Starscream, you failure, retreat! Ah! But anyway, that is it for his articulation. And here Megatron is holding his captured weapon master Lionizer. So you can have him holding it. Of course, when it comes to Megatron, I never knew why he needed any other weapon other than his fusion cannon. So, but hey, here it is. And if you have the effect again, you can put that on here, and it just pegs on like we saw before. And just sticks in there, and he has like a little effect, swishing effect. So that is pretty neat. And a weaponizer, or weapon master, or whatever it's called, is a little transformer. And like I said before, this Lionizer is just a deco of the green lights, what was it, Dazzle Blaster, Dazzle Strike, yeah, I think it was Dazzle Strike. So, and what you do with this guy is basically he will transform, so you can move the legs here down, bring these legs around like so, bring this tab up and in. So there you go, and then you could actually leave it like that, and you can have a huge gun tail, but technically it's supposed to come up like this, and you know, he's supposed to have like a axe on his back, I guess. So let's see, that's a cute little thing. Hey, little monster, little doggy, attack. And again, this guy is Lionizer, and I do have Dazzle Strike right here, and as you can see, they're the exact same. They were just painted differently, and so on and so forth. So anyway, yeah, that is one of his weapon masters, Autobot captive weapon masters. Moving on. And here Megatron is holding his other Autobot captive Pinpointer, who is a weapon master who turns into it like a blaster. So the thing about these weapon masters are, I don't see how they can't control themselves when they're in weapons mode. Like when Megatron transformed into a gun, he could just shoot whenever. So, and if they're captives, I really don't see how they would let Megatron use them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What you could do also is use these little blaster points that came with him, and they will attach to the end here like we saw earlier, and then have some shooting. So that looks pretty nice. A little cool effect. Alright, so what we'll do with him, come on, let it go, Megatron. Now you go stand over there in the corner, and we'll take a closer look at Pinpointer. So take these off. And to transform him, it is very simple. We will take these legs, bring them down and around, bring the backpack down, bring the arms down, and boom, there you are. You have a little weapon master. So he's basically all red, black, has a little bit of a silver face. And that is Pinpointer. Yay! Yeah, I'm free, I'm free. I'm gonna go back to Optimus. And utilizing the cannon from tank mode, you can transform that into a sword. And Megatron can hold that if he was so inclined. So it's another little weapon he could do. Rah, rah. And you could, if again you were interested, you can put this into his fusion cannon and make this huge freaking spear or something that he could use or throw. I don't know. Rah! They said that that's an option in the instructions that they recommended that you could do, but I think that just looks silly. Silly! Anyway, moving on. And for comparison, here he is with the G2 Megatron and the Classics Megatron. For some reason I thought green would be a good color for Megatron. I never liked it. I don't care what Cobra Commander thought, or whoever designed this winged freak. But anyway, those are some Megatrons from different generations. And for some comparison, closer to this day and age, here he is with Siege Prime. And they look alright together. Got their CG cells. And again, this is a Netflix Megatron who's a lot darker than the original Siege Megatron, but they still scale well together. Okay, get out of there, Prime. And then here he is with the Earthrise Prime. And these are the two we'll probably be seeing together a lot more. And that looks pretty good. Alright, move him out. Here he is with Ironhide, Megatron. Yeah, that's not as good as I had hoped because vehicle modes are slightly better scaled than they are in robot mode. And finally, here he is with someone who might come up to his stature, Grapple. Megatron, you're going to destroy my buildings. I might. So, yeah, that's pretty neat right there for a comparison with Megatron and some Autobots. Don't have any Decepticons, so we'll just have to wait, and Megatron will be our first one. Alright, moving on. And this has been the Transformers War for Cybertron Walmart exclusive Netflix series Megatron. And this guy is really great. I love this new Netflix paint scheme. It's a lot darker, and the Decepticon symbol is bigger and more vibrant. I did add a little bit of red to the midsection there, and painted some black around the eyebrows, so they give him a more sinister look and more cartoon accurate look. But you know, he's pretty neat. He's a good toy. Got nice heft to him. I love the robot form. The tank mode, it's not that great, but hey, I mean, what are you gonna do? We can't turn into a gun anymore, and the tank is the next best thing. And but the way they finagled those legs to transform, that was kind of cumbersome. I wish they didn't do that. But other than that, yeah, he was pretty fun to mess around with. And this will be the first of many Decepticons to come. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I will catch you later.